Hello, everyone, and welcome to session 14. We're going to talk about AI-driven research transformation in Bangladesh, a study on the integration of machine learning and data analytics in scientific discoveries. Sharing this information with you is Dr. Mohammed Zillur Rahman, who is a librarian at Ahsanullah University of Science and Technology in Bangladesh. My name is John Hagen, and I will be your moderator for the next 50 minutes. We will reserve 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the session for discussion. And a quick reminder before we begin, during the presentation portion, participants should keep your audio muted. But please feel free to use the Zoom chat tab to ask questions, which will be addressed during the discussion segment. Thank you all for joining, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Rahman.
Thank you, John, for a nice introduction of this session. And I would like to welcome everyone to this session, the breakout session 14. My research topic is AI-driven research transformation in Bangladesh, a study on the integration of machine learning, data analytics in scientific discoveries. Hello, warm greeting to all present as we gather here today. I am excited to introduce my research on AI-driven research transformation in Bangladesh, a study on integration of machine learning and data analytics in scientific discoveries. Today's discussion, the overview of the discussion, that is the background of the study, literature review, methodology, findings and result, discussion, conclusion, and recommendation. AI, artificial intelligence, a widely discussed term in not only in scientific arena, but also in academia and industry also. AI, particularly machine learning and data analytics, is transforming global research practices. Enables processing of vast dataset, uncovering pattern and accelerating discoveries. Widely applied in deployed nations across sectors like medicine, climate science, and industry. In particularly, the Bangladesh adaptation in research is still in very early stage. Emerging application is key sectors such as healthcare, agriculture, and environmental sciences. For example, includes AI-based diagnostics and precision agriculture and tools showing early benefits. What are the challenges in Bangladesh? Limited conceptual infrastructure, shortage of skilled professional in AI and data sciences, restricted access to high quality research grade datasets. Why this study was conducted? The aim of the study is to assess AI potential in overcoming research limitation in Bangladesh. The objective of this topic, that is, they evaluate the current level of AI adoption in research, identify major barrier to widespread AI implementation, propose strategies for faster and AI supportive research ecosystem. And what broader context, this study position Bangladesh within a global AI research movement, highlights both countries' untapped potential and the urgent need for policy and institutional support. In literature review, actually, the literature was conducted based on 4 major thematic area, that is AI and the scientific discoveries worldwide, machine learning applications in Bangladesh, and in research, data analytics in research transformation, challenges in AI adoption in developing nations. And from the first of the discussion, the findings, that is AI, the that is the machine, climate science, and genomics application include protein structure prediction and drug discovery and disaster forecasting. Research learning application is research. Machine learning supports pattern recognition, prediction, and automation in diverse fields in healthcare. It improves diagnostics in agriculture, in enhanced crop yield, prediction, and pest detection. In data analytics, in research transformation, data analytics enables large scale data processing, identifying trend, and guiding evidence-based decision. It strengthens the geoeconomics and social sciences and interdisciplinary research, and challenges in AI adoption in developing nations. Barriers include weak infrastructure, lack of expertise, high cost, and inadequate policy framework. Actually, in Bangladesh, AI use is growing but hindered by limited resources and training. This resource uses two methods of one is qualitative method and another is quantitative method. Sorry, utilize structured survey to gather measurable data. Data collection was was a survey distributed to academic researchers, research institution, and AI professionals in Bangladesh, designed to access the content of the AI adaptation across various research fields. Collection data on challenges face when integrating AI technologies, and data analysis, descriptive and inferential studies to analyze survey responses, evaluated and impact AI technology on research productivity using statistical method. And in similarly, in quantitative method, it was a data collection, case studies, semi-structured interview, data analysis is qualitative analysis technique such as interpret interview, transcripts, prescription and attitude and experiences stakeholders regarding AI-driven research, and identify trend, barrier, and opportunities in AI transformation, infrastructure and expertise. And what is the finding and results of this investigation? Actually, adoption of AI in Bangladeshi research, which is gradually increased over the past 5 years. Adoption remains limited to a few disciplines and is mostly project-based. Growth driven by collaboration with international partners and donor-funded initiatives. Overall use of AI is still modest compared to global standard due to resource limitations. Actually, I identified the three areas that AI is widely used in Bangladesh. One is agriculture, two is healthcare, and the environment. In agriculture, AI used to predict crop yields, detect pest controls and irrigation, contributes to addressing food security, challenges agriculture dependent economy. Healthcare, AI-driven diagnostic tools improve speed and accuracy to enhance the investigation. They enhance the effectiveness of medical survey. And environment, AI applied in climate data analysis, flood prediction, and air quality monitoring, uh, and support climate resilience in country and environmental risks. And recently, I can give you an example of that this environmental impact that the Bangladesh now uh, uh, the Ministry of Environment and the Climate, they are every day they are analyzing the air quality of different districts, and it describes it announces through the broadcasting findings and result, that is the institution and infrastructural barriers. limited conceptual infrastructure and research labs, poor access to high-quality dataset, inadequate funding for AI research, shortage of trained professionals in AI and data science. These factors slow the development of a robust AI research ecosystem. And what are the stakeholders' perception and attitude toward AI? Researchers, policymakers, and industry representatives are cautiously optimistic about AI integration. AI recognizes potential to address national challenges in health, food security, and climate change. Concerns raised about sustainability, ethical risk, and financial cost. And they emphasize on the need for stronger collaboration among academia, government, and industry, policy support, and targeted investment, capacity building, and AI education initiative. Uh, Interprets of key findings. AI adoption in Bangladesh research is progressing but remains uneven across sectors. Early implementation are seen in agriculture, healthcare, and environmental research. Broader adoption is limited by infrastructure and institutional barriers. Findings highlights both the potential and challenges of AI in developing country context. What are the opportunities for AI-driven research in Bangladesh? For agriculture, use the predict analytics for yield optimization and climate resilience. Healthcare is used AI-assisted diagnostic can ease pressure on overstressed the medical system. In environment, AI tools can enhance environmental monitoring and support climate adaptation strategies. These sectors offer high impact opportunities for scalable AI integration. Comparative perspective with other countries. Bangladesh AI adoption is still nascent compared to developed countries like USA and China. Developed nation benefits from robust government policies, strong industry academia partnership, advanced computational infrastructure. Bangladesh shares a similar growth pattern with other emerging economies, indicating gradual progress. Emphasize the risk of widening global digital divide if strategic interventions are not made. Policy and institutional implications, urgent need for policy reform and institutional development. The key recommendations are invest in high performance computing infrastructure, develop and integrate AI focused academic curricula, strengthening collaborating among the academic, industry, and government. A coordinated policy framework can boost national research productivity, position Bangladesh as a regional leader in AI-driven research and innovation. Now I am almost to conclude my presentation, and the recommendation will be done. The summary of key insights. This study underscores that while Bangladesh has made initial stages in adopting artificial intelligence for research, its application remains uneven across sectors. Agriculture, healthcare, and environmental science stand out as promising field where AI has already began to generate measurable benefit. However, infrastructural gap, shortage of expertise, and limited funding continues to restrict widespread adoption. Overcoming these barriers requires deliberate policy and institutional action. Limited access to high performance computing facilities and quality dataset remains a significant constraint. Addressing this requires investment in digital infrastructure, strengthening data governance, and promoting open data sharing framework. Strategy for strengthening AI ecosystem. Building a sustainable AI ecosystem will demand coordinated effort across government, academia, and industry. Introducing AI-focused curricula in higher education, offering training program, and incentivizing public-private partnership can help build human capital and innovation capacity. Furthermore, adapting clear regulatory guidance and ensure ethical AI practice while fostering trust among stakeholders. Further research should explore sector-specific AI application, particularly in climate adaptation, disaster management, and public health area, highly relevant to Bangladesh development priorities. Comparative study with other emerging economies could also provide valuable lessons on scaling AI integration in resource constrained context. By addressing existing challenges and embracing innovation, Bangladesh can position itself as a regional leader in AI-driven scientific discoveries. Thank you all. This is the end of my presentation. John.
Well, yes, thank you, sir. Dr. Rahman, thank you so much. It was very enlightening to learn about the landscape of AI integration in the life in Bangladesh. So my question to you, maybe just to start the process going here, and the rest of you can think of maybe some questions you'd like to ask Dr. Rahman. But in terms of the impact of artificial intelligence on your students, and in particular, in the research or let's say the literature review process when they start to write their theses and dissertations. I know earlier in your other presentation you spoke about using, for example, Turnitin as a way to detect plagiarism and copyright issues and so forth. But in terms of the research process itself, for example, are your research librarians well versed in various prompt engineering and various AI applications in which they could help their students search for what research has been done previously in their area and help determine what area of focus they will do with in writing their thesis or dissertation. I hope that was clear enough for you to understand.
Yes, in for this particular research, actually, I declared when I submitted abstract to the ETD 2025, and my declaration was that this paper to generate or develop this paper, AI was used to generate literature review and to generate some context to or get some idea insight into the problem because as we are a librarian information science professional, actually we have a little idea about the healthcare, what is going on, and the agriculture system and the production system and the environmental impact that is going on. And sorry, and to get some idea about all this, the progressive field that has been using AI driven research already conducted, and they are getting benefit from the AI AI uses in different field. I used AI to generate the idea to get a preliminary idea about the topic. And when I got the idea, and then I started developing the other resources, and I conducted the literacy review. And the literacy review basically was done on based on the four focused areas, as I earlier said. It was AI and scientific discoveries worldwide, machine learning application in research, AI data analysis in research transformation, and challenges in AI adoption in developing nations. And from this four area literacy review, I got a great insight into the topic that the challenges in AI adoption in developing nations, that you could see that barrier include weak infrastructure, a lack of expertise, high cost, and inadequate policy framework. And like other developing countries in Bangladesh, the AI is used, growing but hindered by the limited resources and training. And uh, the in my previous presentation, I told that the AI basically in Bangladesh and around the world, we the topic is spreaded, and we hear this topic that AI is coming. Though the research has been conducting last 2 decades, one AI developing AI, artificial intelligence, and application in the human life and in various fields. And finally it came out to our existence in last few years ago. And the its uses and widespread use actually depends on many things, many factors. And as you know that if there is no lacking in expertise, and if it shares the cost and inadequate, if the country has sufficient policy framework, then definitely AI uses in every field, it will enhance day by day. And in the universities, you know, as I earlier said, that the Turnitin is being used to take the plagiarism in research and in submitting thesis. And the the jury board, they are evaluating the research, the report that the through the Turnitin or plagiarism checker tools presents while conducting a research. Particularly in my in this research, I used uh, various method, including qualitative and quantitative. And in qualitative research, the application of quantitative approach is very difficult to analyze the and then the print the data. But in some cases, uh, uh, some measures can be made with the quantitative data. Furthermore, the data analytics techniques were employed to analyze survey response and interview transcript, and providing insights into the pattern and trend in adoption. And descriptive and inferential statistics were used to evaluate the impact of AI technologies on research productivity. While qualitative analysis also utilized to use the perception and attitude of stakeholders toward AI-driven research. John.
Well, thank you. That was a fairly comprehensive approach. So it's interesting to know that your the paper, actually this presentation and the paper, underlying paper that you wrote, you used AI to help structure and also to do the basic literature review in preparing to gather knowledge about this topic. And I suppose this would be an appropriate approach for you to, for example, instruct a graduate student when they were beginning to do their research, um, for a thesis or dissertation.
Yes, of course. When we instruct our students to do research, and we strictly follow the research integrity in the research. In perspective of my university, that's Ahsanullah University, as I told earlier, that we have developed a policy to check the research integrity by uh, using uh, the tool for detecting the similarity that they use in their thesis and dissertation. And eh, for example, when the hard copy thesis, the traditional thesis one, when I started conversion into the digital one. Then my administration told me that it should not be, because there may be some content that used without acknowledging the uh, proper sourcing or proper acknowledgement to the proper credit to the original author. Then it stopped. But recently, the thesis that we have been receiving in my library strictly followed the context of AI, AI detection tools, and Turnitin is quite enough to detect AI generated content. And when it seems that this is the beyond the tolerance, and that we have set the threshold that this amount of AI content will be allowed, or this amount of similarity will be tolerated as a threshold to particular thesis or dissertation. It varies across the departments. That is, the science faculty, they're using this. There are some standard, and the arts faculty and arts and humanities, they also they set a benchmark on getting the AI driven and the similarity index. So we have been started the using of AI and AI related policies, and uh, uh, in not only in the ETDs, and but also in project and research also. John.
Great. Well, that was a very wonderful reply. Now, I was just thinking of the earlier presentation. It was the workshop, rather, on the system called elicits, and it allowed them um, to evaluate various AI systems, the effectiveness, and so forth, and then they're creating policy recommendations basically for their campuses. So I would point you to the University of Iowa for some excellent resources if you're looking for something to implement on your campus. So I see that Jenny from Virginia Tech Libraries has her video panel open. Jenny, would you like to tell us something really interesting?
Well, I was actually interested in the same thing you asked about, so thank you for Dr. Rahman for your responses on those questions. I was also wondering what you might have mentioned it, but I didn't quite catch it. But if there were particular tools you like using right now for this purpose, like creating a literature review or exploring the context of a new topic, and also if there are particular tools that it seems like you were exploring use of AI in Bangladesh in research. If you noticed there was like a lot of people using particular tools, or if it was quite varied, um, or if there are like tools specific to Bangladesh that maybe have data sets focused on Bangladesh context and work, or other data particular to the region. that you think would be interesting for people out in other countries to try?
Thank you, Jenny, for your interesting question. And if I understand from your question that actually our university student and we use ChatGPT and ChatGPT has released many updated version and our students they used this ChatGPT to generate their literature review and they conduct uh, sometimes I found that in my digital lab in my library that they are using ChatGPT and other popular AI tool uh, and also they sometimes use DeepSeek and I know there are many other AI tool currently being used in academia and industry, and my students particularly they use ChatGPT, and Bangladesh has no this kind of bigger data set, and that being used for developing or writing or analyzing and the Bangladeshi base the research right now. Actually, we share the research that have been conducted and published the article around the world by the Bangladeshi authors. And our students, they sometimes use AI to like ChatGPT release 4 and 5 or ChatGPT Plus and other versions. They sometimes use for developing their codes and in programming languages and they are effectively and very successfully using all these tools in their academic activities and our university sometimes uh, provide training to the students on AI through the institutional quality assurance cells, which is popularly called IQAC cell, and the director of the IQAC cell, they frequently conduct one AI, how to use and what it would be, and what are the ethical aspects and ethical perspectives of AI in research and academia. Yeah, Jenny.
Thank you very much.
Jenny, I was going to ask you what your particular favorite AI tools or resources are, and maybe it differs depending on the task. I don't know, but I would be curious to know what your favorites are.
Well, I'm still, I don't know that I have a favorite yet. I'm still trying out most of them. I've used Chat GPT a good amount. We had a structured pilot, and I don't think our institution's made a definite decision yet about whether to move forward with an institutional license. We had a short-term license in order to try it out. But we also had a pilot of Microsoft Copilot, which I also participated in. And we have, as an institution, licensed that. So you do have to pay for it from your department funds, but the benefits of the institutional license are that it's not training on your prompts, it's not training on your data. Um, and what you share is not going to be, made part of its public data set or incorporated in any way. So I guess the benefits with that are the Microsoft Copilot is embedded within, if you have the full licensed product, it's embedded within each tool. So you have kind of a Copilot for PowerPoint, a Copilot for Outlook, for Excel, for each application, and then 365 in some ways goes across applications. I think in my imagination, it would have been able to do more things across applications than it is currently able to do. Maybe at some point it will be developed enough to really like, for example, if you wanted it to create a schedule for you, um, that you could share with other people in a nice visual way, you might be able to say in Word, or in Microsoft Copilot, please go look at like these calendars and put together a schedule in Word, and it doesn't quite work that well. But yeah, using it for some data exploration, for outlining slides or adding visuals to slides sometimes, depending on the visuals it creates. Those are some components. ChatGPT feels I tried out Microsoft Copilot too, but ChatGPT did seem a little more user-friendly in terms of exploring new topics, and was easier to get it to cite its sources um, more effectively. I haven't done a lot with explicit. I've tried consensus, which I liked, because it gave kind of some context around each source that it provided, and it seemed pretty reliable in that the sources it cited were real, and you could easily click on it and learn more, or you could pull them together and get more summarized analysis from it. But I don't have the paid versions of either of those. So
Excellent, excellent. Actually, I didn't use Copilot of Microsoft. In my country, and my students, they are using basically ChatGPT and DeepSeek and some other popular tools. And after all these sources are not free for the students. If in free version, if you conduct few action, then it becomes please update the upper version or something like this kind of message comes. And if you analyze a bigger thing, or if you call to generate some images or some graphs, then it reminds you to update in the version that is which is the purchased on. So it continuously divert you to purchase the tool, and which is sometimes difficult to pay money from Bangladesh by using credit card on something. So very difficult. Uh,
Does anyone have any experiences using Google Gemini? That's become one of my favorites just because it's become so ubiquitous in the browser, that I just enjoy it. And it seems to be fairly accurate in terms of results. And I've actually put together a kind of a position paper. We're looking at a potential merger with organizations, and that helped me gather my thoughts, actually. So I found it very useful. But I'd be curious to know if anybody else has any experience with the Google Gemini. I guess not. Okay, well, there's another area to explore. Definitely.
1 minute is remained to leave the session.
I'm sorry, Dr. Rahman, can you repeat that?
Yeah, it almost close to the end of this session.
Oh, yeah, we have
We-
another. Yeah, I mean, we have 9 minutes. I'm going to leave it available if anybody wants to have any parting comments or thoughts. Another thing I was going to mention too is it largely depends on the applications that we use. Now, for example, I mentioned and maybe it was in another session, but about using Adobe Express and our nonprofit USETDA has access to that for free because we're a nonprofit and we applied for that. But it has very extensive applications to create illustrations and graphics and so forth. However, I thought it was interesting to note that when I went to upload a graphic to Adobe Express, and then it asked if I owned the copyright to the actual image. And if I did not, if I answered no, it would not let me upload that to the content. So obviously Adobe is aware. Maybe there are some liability concerns. Maybe it's also to help the end user to train them, to guide them to use appropriate sources and so forth. But then I went to do the same request on Google Gemini with a basic text prompt and an image that I uploaded, and I wanted to create a similar but different image, and it did it automatically without regard to copyright. So different approaches to that, but I think it is interesting that at least some of the AI, manufacturers or whatever you want to call them, creators are aware of these copyright issues and at least trying to have some sort of um, I don't know, a gateway or some sort of at least, pass through before they just ingest things willy-nilly. The other thing I thought was interesting that Jenny, you mentioned earlier, that is you pay to play. So of course, if you want free access, then they'll say that's fine. You just have to give us all the data. Let us keep everything that you stuff into our system when you're doing your queries. Now, if you do your institutional paid, access, and apparently they will let you opt out of that, and so they don't then ingest all of your information, and that then becomes fodder for other AI creators who want to steal your information. It's a very wild west sort of situation, but I find it fascinating nonetheless.
Yeah, wonderful experience that John you shared. And I would like to thank you, everyone, for participating in this fruitful discussion. And I would like to thank the ETD, NTLDG, the USETG, and particularly John, because the USETD enjoying its 15th anniversary this year, and I have been participating USETD last couple of years, and I have been gathering vast knowledge from the discussion, and I am really grateful to every the discussant, author, and the scholars who are participating in ETD. And I wish this ETD 2025 a great and a big successful one.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Rahman, and we always find your presentations very fascinating, and not only in terms of the things going on in Bangladesh, but obviously the implications for the rest of us in the world and how that information trickles down to you all in your part of the world. Just a quick parting comment. Jenny put in the chat tab here. She says we're actually not allowed to use DeepSeek at Virginia Tech, pardon me, for Virginia Tech related activities. So certainly there's some campus policies and some sensibility, I suppose. And then also the comment, my colleague, Dr. Sarah Over with the libraries at Virginia Tech provides a workshop on AI tools for research. If it's of any interest, the link is in the chat here, so you can seek additional resources. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and thank you, Dr. Rahman, for your enlightenment. And so we'll conclude the session, and let's please thank Dr. Rahman.
Thank you.